Welcome to Far Fetched. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Cool. Try and face the camera a little bit.
The whole podcast is just like this.
It's the back of his chair.
You guys give me a spinny chair and I just had ice cream.
Alright.
Let's start with like baseball or something. Like
I don't know anything.
it was like I can tell like a funny story from my season and then you guys can just like add on just or something like.
Okay.
But like you guys have to like ask me like about how
You gotta finish the camera.
Cole's like, yeah, guys. Like,
Alright, we got this.
what got us into or why we chose conspiracy?
No, I give it.
Yeah, so guys, we're into conspiracies. Well, personally, I was like really young when I started learning about conspiracies.
Last year.
And no. I was really young, like probably like a long time ago. I'm not gonna say the specific
I was
age.
born at a young age.
That's a conspiracy. So I think mostly it was my uncle that got me into conspiracies, and then I started looking into it probably like a year ago. I was like, we gotta start a podcast. So I got my two besties right here.
Bestie Booze.
Slay all day, and then so yeah,
I'm his cousin, by the way.
yeah.
There is a big age gap, but it's not weird.
We're not cousins. He invited me here. Yeah.
Sick. How'd you get into conspiracies?
Well, my dad. One day in the car, he was listening to Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Who's Joe Rogan?"
W. Joe.
And he was like, "Well, Joe Rogan is this guy, and he talks about conspiracies with other people." He didn't say exactly that. I kind of forgot. And I was like, "Oh." 2 years later, I got a phone, and then I got Apple Podcasts. So then I saw the Joe Rogan Experience, and then I clicked play, and it was love at first sight. I remember the very first one I heard. I forget who, forget when.
Cole, you have to stop spinning. You make me so distracted.
Okay.
But no.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Guys.
It was about aliens, and I've been hooked ever since.
Mm.
There's no specific story. All I know is that that was a couple years ago. Never stopped listening to every conspiracy one that's came out. I've listened to probably since then.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What got you into it?
Okay, the first time I got into conspiracy is I learned that the word conspiracy theorist was a made-up word from the CIA.
It is absolutely crazy.
Which is nuts. And I was like, well, if that's a conspiracy. If the word conspiracy is a
I've never heard of that. What?
Yeah, so you know how JFK died?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then that's when conspiracy.
So right after that, people were like, well, maybe the CIA or somebody else killed JFK. And then they created the word conspiracy theorist right after that.
Okay.
To make it sound
like a negative stereotype.
Yeah, to make people sound
Well, the other
like
thing
crazy
is
if you talk about it.
If a word's not like, let's say freedom wasn't in our vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't know what freedom was.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be able to
exactly.
process that.
Yeah.
So if conspiracy's not in our vocab, we can't process a conspiracy.
Yeah.
So after JFK, they just like, we gotta figure something out. Conspiracy, boom,
And that
done.
makes you look crazy if you
Yeah.
talk about any type of conspiracy.
But now
Well,
podcasts are being a big hit, and we're rolling in it.
Yeah, we figured we need more average white guys with the mic to talk about conspiracies.
Yeah. So let's just get down to the basics. Like, what's your favorite conspiracy? Like, don't go into it. Just like, what's your favorite one that intrigues you the most?
My favorite conspiracy.
Man.
What is it?
No, that's crazy. I gotta think.
Man,
Go
period.
first.
That's the
Give me time.
conspiracy.
Give me time.
The craziest one is the Anunnaki.
Yep.
I love that. I don't.
Enlighten
we'll get
me
into
like
that.
I don't know. Like just like a tiny bit. Enlighten me like I don't know anything about it. What is the Anunnaki?
Oh, the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Alright, it's apparently this alien species
Yeah.
that is from a distant planet, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole thought process behind it, their atmosphere is like dissolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their atmosphere is going away, so they need something to rebuild it so they don't just get burned up from their whatever their version of the sun
Yeah.
is or whatever. So they came, they found Earth and they found humans or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they genetically modified them to make them like obsessed with gold is the one thing. So then we mine gold for them. That's why like we have this weird like
Obsession
fantasy
with gold.
about gold for like no reason.
Holy smokes.
And so they take the
I mean,
gold.
just look at your chain.
Yeah, blickied out. And then so they take the gold, right? And gold is the only material that can be spread super thin. So that's why they use it on like AI chips and phone chips and all that kind of stuff, because it can be made super duper thin. So their theory is like they take this gold and they put it in their atmosphere to preserve their planet.
Yeah, so hold up. They take our gold?
Yeah. So we're essentially...
That tied me into a conspiracy. I'm going to talk about this later. I'll bring that back. Things just clicked in my head. I'll bring it back.
Stop teasing everyone.
But that's a teaser for later in the episode.
Alright, you go.
Alright. My favorite is probably... I mean, aliens. It would be so cool if aliens were a thing. All the different aliens, like the ones that live under... Like any different alien that just intrigues me so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's yours?
Mine ties into aliens too, but it's like a conspiracy in a conspiracy.
Okay.
So mine is that we're not actually seeing UFOs. It's just projections by the government to try to...
Project Bluebeam?
To try to make us just like, I don't know. So here's the thing about this one. I know this one I know the least about.
Okay.
But I heard about it like twice, and it just like hit me. That's so weird that, because like they could just be using like a gas and just putting a projection against it and then moving it like super fast in weird ways, just like make you think there's aliens when it's really just...
Yeah.
So the thought behind this is they have this thing now where it's like a hologram, but it's plasma. So they're able to like, I don't know what it's called exactly. You kind of like melt the atoms essentially, and it makes
I just
plasma.
heard about. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
So it shows up on radar and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's like what Project Bluebeam is.
Yeah.
Is they're gonna fake an alien invasion
Yeah.
to make people think that the aliens are coming. They're like, oh my gosh, we need you government, and then make a one world government.
Yeah, so, really quick. I learned about this recently. This is the craziest fact I've ever heard in my life. So, you know, like, I'm really into, like, ancient societies.
Mhm.
Oh,
There's so
I
many
have so much
conspiracies
about that. Yeah.
about ancient societies.
That's what I know the most about.
There's one, literally, have you ever heard of an ancient society that's, like, really old in America?
In America, like America.
Yeah, well, in
More like you
Mississippi.
mean like Central America? Oh no.
In Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
there's something called the Mississippian period.
Okay.
Okay? And supposedly there was like this 6-mile city in Mississippi, and it was like home to like 20,000 people.
Okay.
And this was back, like way back, like in the Egyptian times, like crazy far, like way back. And it was on America, and it's not just Native Americans, it was literally like an ancient society.
Yeah, there has been like talks recently as people have like started to discover more about like ancient humans and stuff, that humans have been like on North America and South America like way longer than we thought.
Yeah.
Like we thought that they always were
They
on
came over, like the theory is that like the ice between Russia
in Alaska.
and they just like walked over like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But that there's more, there's like less truth in that than people think. Like in the Grand Canyon, there's Egyptian hieroglyphs in some of the caves.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally just heard about that.
Explain that to me. Explain how that's like as
And
far away as you
The
can possibly
military is literally
You can't
that
go
you
there.
can't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And it's
That
not
was
the
my
Grand.
wonder.
It's not like that it's
Yeah.
not safe because people fall off the Grand Canyon and die
Yeah.
every year. But why can't you go on this certain spot?
Yeah.
And like this guy, it was like this whole story that I was listening to, and he goes down there and finds this whole like underground city like with hieroglyphs,
Mm-hmm.
like old monk structures, goes up and tells a bunch of people, and then they're about to go back down, and he doesn't show up, and he's never seen again. Died. Mysterious cause.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else
weird.
knows where it is, and now you can't go there.
Where people seem to die a lot and they find stuff that they shouldn't be finding.
Yeah. Oh my god. I heard about this today. It's absolutely insane. So, this alien spaceship, so this is kindergarten. It could be a kindergarten or it could be a school. I don't know. I don't know too many details about this, but I heard about it and it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of the teachers are like watchers of the kids go inside, and the kids are like playing outside. Okay?
Oh, I've heard this
Like
before.
100 kids
This was in
outside.
like Africa or somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where it was, but they all go inside, and then out there's like a spaceship lands.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are just frozen with fear, and these like 4 foot tall men in suits get out, like with sunglasses.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at the kids, and the kids get terrified. Like a couple of them scream, and once they scream, the guys like look at them, and like one of them looks like it's walking in slow motion towards them. One of them, like every time it steps, it like the kids couldn't explain it. It was like teleporting forward 10 feet every step. It was super weird, like traveling through dimensions or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the kids say that they were telepathically talking to them, the aliens, and
They always say that whenever someone meets an alien, they don't like actually speak.
Yeah.
It's always like in their head.
like they hear them, like they're speaking, but their voice isn't, like their mouth isn't
it's
saying.
like your conscience talking.
Yeah. So they started saying things to the kids about the future of the world, how the ocean was gonna bubble up like in flames and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Super crazy. Aliens go away, and like all the kids remember it to this, and it's like 100 witnesses, and everybody is just fixated on this. And so there's a guy, like one of the kids grew up and like keep on talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I don't remember his name. Let's just say he's Dave Murky.
Okay. Dave
Okay.
Murky.
And
That's a great name.
because there's something about this name that in further in the story. So he like keeps on trying to get everybody to believe in. He's like, this is true, guys. And then in the city he was in, like where he lived, on the same night, 4, including him, he gets hit by a car, dies. And at the same exact time on the same night, in that city, 3 other Dave Murkys die. And they weren't related, or they could, a couple of them could be.
Yeah.
But like that's literally like the Men in Black. Like their only goal is to kill Dave Murky in this city, so just kill them all.
Dang, it's a bad day to be Dave Murky.
I know, right?
Imagine just like some Dave Murphy just chilling, and then just like you get hit, just like a bullet just rips through your.
Hey, if you're Dave Murky, listen to this podcast. Shout out.
Shout out Dave Murky.
Yeah, you're not a guy though. That wasn't his name.
Yeah. I feel like every
Comment R.I.P. Dave Murphy in the
Dave Murky, comment below. Let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every alien story, like when there's like interactions,
Yeah.
it's always like telepathically.
Well, they're either like 8 feet tall and like skinny and super white, and they like have a wig on.
Yeah.
And they don't blink. Or
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
scary.
Or they're just like tiny and like little midgets, just like who.
Yeah. So what's been going on? Like you got like I know I play sports, but like what about you guys? Like what's been going on in your life?
So I own a pasta company.
Well, what have you been doing?
Well, you know, baseball.
Baseball season.
Just did it for fun this year. Not my favorite sport. I
Yeah.
mean, I like watching. It's a great sport to watch. Everything was going good.
Yeah, well, we were like in
No,
a flow.
yeah,
for
we're
that was like
flow.
And then
15
he was
minutes.
like, "So, how's baseball?"
Well, we're talking about too many conspiracies. At the
Well,
same
that's the
time.
point. It's only an hour-long podcast. We
No,
still
I
got
know,
the
but
full
we just
hour.
need to like.
We easily did an hour. We had so much more after that.
I didn't have very much.
I got like range it.
I talked about the Bigfoot War of 1855.
The Bigfoot War of 8.
No, we're gonna start with an outrageous one, and then one of us can say that's far-fetched.
This is an outrageous one. The Bigfoot War of 1855.
Okay, tell us about the Bigfoot War of 8. I am very intrigued.
Okay, the Bigfoot War of 1855. Okay. In Leaf Floor Country. Okay.
And where?
I'm definitely pronouncing
Can I
this.
say it?
Leaf Floor.
LaFleur?
LaFleur County.
County.
Homeschoolers.
not country.
Okay, Oklahoma.
Homeschoolers, you know.
Yeah.
Alright. Involved the Choctaw Nation. So this is like an Indian tribe, right? And
Native American.
To preface, we are all experts on everything that we talk about. So
Yeah.
you can trust us.
yeah, take every single word we say seriously.
As fact. Don't do any other research.
Okay, so the Bigfoot War of 1855. So in LaFleur County, Oklahoma, there's like this in the town in 1855.
In LaFleur County.
It was there, just to let you know.
Wait, no. Was it in LaFleur County?
It was in Oklahoma. That's all you gotta know. These farmers keep on, like, their crops get stolen, like in the beginning, just small raids, and they don't know what's doing it. And
Could be aliens.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just keep picturing a bunch of Bigfoots fighting.
it's not that. I'm sorry to bring down your hopes. It's not that.
Okay.
Okay.
Crops.
So their crops keep getting stolen. They don't know what's doing it. why it's happening. So they start trying to fight the raids. So they're fighting.
Did you
and
just die in sentence?
Soon, it goes farther than raids. They start taking their cattle, killing the cattle, taking them. Start taking women and children too. So like they go really big. So they're like, we got to do something about this. So they call in, Joshua LaFleur, okay?
Okay.
And it's six. This guy's giant, like 7 feet tall, and his 6 sons, and they're about to go out and find these guys. So they ride into the woods after one of their raids, and all on horseback. Or the 6 sons and LaFleur, Joshua LaFleur goes in, and like with some of the farmers, and they come into this camp, and they describe these like 8 foot tall apes all around a fire, like with dead bones everywhere. And most of them leave, okay? But then like a few of them stay.
Wait, who?
The apes.
The apes.
Yeah, the few of them stay. And they just start like fighting these things.
This 7 foot tall dude starts fighting these apes.
Yeah.
And we're sitting around a campfire.
Wait, no, serious question. 1 gorilla or 100 men?
100% the gorilla. The gorilla 100%.
Alright, I was just trying to get us off track. Let's get back into this.
You're in an abandoned mall. I'll get back to this in just a second. And you get dropped. You get 5 seconds to hide, and then after that, 30 minutes. And an a chimpanzee, or no, wait, what are the big red guys? Like
Orangutan.
Orangutan. A deadly orangutan. You know how sharp their teeth are
Yeah.
and how big their bites are? This only goal is to kill you.
Uh-huh.
And if it kills you, it gets freedom. And that's its only goal. It's been in captivity, and they've been like beating it, so it's like just wants to kill you.
Okay.
You get 30 minutes to hide.
Yeah.
And when it drops, like, and like it starts making that noise.
Yeah.
How long do you think you can survive?
29 minutes.
You think you can survive the 30?
I don't know.
I'm not thinking I can survive. Like,
I think I would make it 29 minutes, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, man, and then I get attacked.
you're like 20 minutes in, you're like, and then
Well,
right,
there's nowhere you can go. You can't climb anywhere, so...
right next to you, it's like, and you're just like, I'm dead. That'd be funny. Okay,
let's get
back to the story.
Sorry about that.
So, his 6 sons start battling it out with these guys. Horse takes a blow to the neck, instantly kills the horse. Like this thing, like literally like
The
a
horse
light.
was fighting too?
No, the guy's on the horse.
Oh.
So the Bigfoot punches like a light punch for the Bigfoot, and instantly kills the horse. Kills 2 of the sons, literally by like grabbing their heads and just pinching their heads like so much that they died. In the end, the 3 Bigfoot were defeated, and that was the end of the story.
That's far-fetched.
That's far. That's what we're
far-fetched.
talking about.
Where'd you see this story?
I found it. I was listening to a podcast.
Classic.
Yeah.
Which podcast?
Shout out Ninjas.
Ninjas?
I'm part of the Ninja clan.
Ninjas and butterflies?
Yeah.
Bigfoot, wow. I don't know much about Bigfoot, honestly.
Yeah.
That's one where...
I know actually quite a bit about Bigfoot. I just want to less believable.
You want to hear a crazy thing about Bigfoot that
Yeah.
just kind of like downplays everything you just said?
Yeah.
The most Bigfoot sightings are right next to a store that sells ghillie suits.
Let's get right into this, folks. Nahini Valley. Also known as I like to consider it more the Valley of Headless Men. Okay? This is probably one of my favorite ones. So I got a lot of notes on this one, so it's gonna be a little bit scattered, but it's gonna be good. So let me
You guys can't see, but he wrote like a 4-paragraph essay.
yeah, this is gonna be good.
Oh my god, it's longer than Harry Potter.
This is all grok. This is all grok.
No, that explains it. I know you weren't smart enough to write this.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna line you like a little bit. So this is in Canada. It's one of the 4 only international parks. Like 99% sure that's correct. It could be wrong.
Don't look it up.
We're experts.
Yeah. So it's one of the 4 international parks. It's like northwest Canada. It's like super far up there. So there's like a river, and these mountains on the side are like really big. I think it's like 3,000 feet from the river to the top of the mountains.
Okay.
So pretty big, and it's a very like conspiracy based area. Like there's been conspiracies from the early 1900s. So the reason it's called the Valley of the Headless Men is it all started back in 1906 with the McClure brothers. Okay?
It's always the McClure brothers.
It's always them. So
Dave Murphy. What was his name?
it actually does mention Dave I'm joking. Okay. So in 1906, brothers Willie and Frank McClure. So they're like gold miners, and they're coming.
It all comes back to gold.
Yeah, this is actually
Anunnaki.
they're mining gold. Okay.
For the
But
they don't even know.
they don't know that yet.
They don't know.
And so they're mining gold, and they hit the jackpot, and so they go back and tell their other brother, or it might just be like their helper, and so they go back and they haven't seen them in 2 years. So they're like, we better go look for them. So they go back. Their tent is burned. Actually, no. When they're walking in where they should have been walking in or walking out, the first tree's burned, and their initials are on it. And the second one is trees burned, and their 2 corpses are headless. So that's the first one. Okay.
Wait.
The corpses of the brothers?
The brothers?
Yeah, the brothers were headless. And that was the last of them. And no research. It was a wildfire, and their heads just burned off. That's what the government said it was. Classic government.
Their bodies are just completely fine. Their heads are just like a black into the stump.
All right. So and then in 1913, another story happens, and this guy is he's a canoeer, and he's going same thing. His cabin is burned. He's tried to make a living up there. Cabin burned, and he's dead without a head. Third one, this guy is in his sleeping bag, no head, and around him is burned. And none of these people, all of them are going up there to mine gold, and none of them had any gold with them.
So they all hit the jackpots.
And there was there was so many, I think there was multiple cases, and it still happens today. People still go there, and they are not people.
Why don't you just go somewhere else to get gold?
Yeah, that's the thing. But because gold is so plentiful, because nobody can mine it up.
Yeah.
So people
they
go
all lose their heads.
Tie it together.
So people will go up there because I don't believe in conspiracies. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna go headless for some reason. And also, that's not the only conspiracy. So I don't know how to pronounce this right. It's the Dean tribe.
Okay.
It's like a Native American tribe. It's D-E-N-E.
Dene.
Dene.
Dene, maybe?
Dean or Dene, I don't know. However they pronounce it. If you're part of the Dene or Dean tribe,
it's a Dene.
That's on me.
They're gonna X off when they hear Q say Dean tribe.
They're like, who's this Dean tribe? Okay. So they've been living up there forever, and they're very superstitious because things have been happening to them forever.
Yeah.
So when somebody dies, burn their corpse, burn their house, burn everything that they own, so that their spirit doesn't haunt them.
These guys seem like they might be killing some people too.
So yeah, I guess it ties into the fire, but it might not, because not everybody that goes there. But the Dean tribe also can, I don't know if they can speak English, but they can communicate with other people. They do, and there's this tribe of giants that have been terrorizing them and killing them for years. And one winter, they're gone. Okay, the Dean tribe has to leave this area. The next winter back, this tribe of giants is gone. And this is just what the Dean tribe says, a giant tribe.
When were the giants around supposedly?
Forever, until I think 1950s maybe.
Okay.
And they were just gone. Hey, don't check that, but it's real.
Again, fact.
Yeah. So the Dean, they just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is the Dean tribe, will say well, their hunting and fishing is phenomenal, and they're like,
Do they live off the land?
yeah.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, I just shot. What's like an average like buck? Like if it's a big buck, how much would that be?
7,893 pounds.
That's a pretty big buck.
I have no idea.
No, okay.
No,
so
no,
whatever a big.
200 pounds, maybe?
I think that's a
That's
pretty small
humongous.
deer.
Okay, 400 pounds.
I don't know, but whatever small.
200 pounds is not a small deer.
It's not.
That's a giant deer.
Okay.
Hang
Let's
on.
say 200 pounds. Fact
Luckily,
check.
My dad shot a 60-pound deer this year.
My dad shot a pretty small deer this year too, but
What's the
I
average?
shot a 400 pounder.
So-
I didn't shoot a 400 pounder.
Okay.
It's an average buck.
It gave me reindeer and it says 5 feet. That is not close to what I was thinking.
Okay, well let's get on to it. They're
They weigh 5 feet.
they're saying like let's say a big buck's 200 pounds. Okay.
Huge.
All these hunters out here, I'm sorry for if it's not, but it's a huge deer.
Don't check this. fact.
They're finding these. They're like, yeah, we got a pretty big buck this year. It was like 700 pounds maybe. And
Okay.
everybody else is like, what are you talking about? There's no deer that's 700 pounds.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, whatever a moose is, they're like 3 times that. We got a moose this year that's like this weight, and
3,000
everybody's
pounds.
like, what are you talking about? There's nothing
Yeah.
here.
So there's
And
fucking
other
mass.
people have been like seeing these moose 12 foot across from each antler to antler. These enormous, like a beaver bigger than a human, like enormous animals. Some even say they see woolly mammoths. And the crazy thing is if you track this valley all the way back to when the Ice Age happened, you know how like
Yeah.
the whole world shifted and like the one continent thing.
Mm-hmm.
This valley was never like it was never affected by the Ice Age. It's been the same
It's
for
always been.
How big is this valley?
thousands
Like
of
huge?
years.
Like a huge
Yeah,
valley?
it's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's a whole national park.
Is it
It's
still like
protected.
around now?
Yeah, you can still go there. And people, if you're mindful, you still find them headless. Like you can go there. Like some pedestrians that will go there, like find just like a skeleton of a human there, without without a head, like without a skull.
It's weird because it's like 120 years old now. Like,
Yeah, and
dying. So it's not like just one guy that's up there.
he's like,
killing
oh my
people.
god, headless.
Yeah.
And some people will just be like, sitting at their campfire, die, and like not headless, but they're just like frozen, and they're dead. Like they don't know what killed them.
Mm-hmm.
How do
And
you?
their fire's burned out, and like everything around them is burned. It's always with fire. It's very strange.
I bet it's the DNA. Dene.
Dene.
DNA.
You think it's the Dene tribe?
Well,
But nobody knows why it's happening.
Maybe they don't want people in their area.
they don't want
But
people.
why wouldn't they kill everybody then?
Their area sounds very plentiful. It's gold, woolly mammoths. So
Yeah, they probably just don't want people there.
I don't know, but you can go there. Like it's not like most people will get killed. Most people come back alive.
why don't we go there and find out if they come back alive?
Is it just maybe it's just people that we'll do a trip, far-fetched trip.
Hey guys, if you guys get us that golden play button, you guys get to pick 7 places around the world.
Okay, 7 is a little much. Listen, 3.
3 places around the world, and we'll go.
No, it's probably gonna be like the inside of like a volcano or something.
Yeah,
We'll do whatever the top.
Like the
comment
top
says.
of the
I'm
roof.
joking. We're not doing that.
straight to Russia.
You're gonna go
No-
to
North
Korea. One-way trip.
Pee on Kim Jong Un's statue.
Challenge level.
That's
impossible.
that's what I've got to talk about.
Kim, if you're listening, we're joking.
Yeah.
Please don't nuke the U.S.
Kimmy, you know us.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of telepathy.
Speaking of headless men, let's get to telepathy. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Have you guys heard of the telepathy tapes? Kai Dickens. She has a podcast, and it's all about these non-verbal autistic kids, right?
Okay.
And
I've heard of this.
they can't talk,
Yeah.
but apparently they can read minds or whatever. So she goes through,
Yeah.
and she's interviewing all these kids, and they're talking about how, like...
I thought the kids couldn't talk.
okay. They're not talking. When I say talking,
They're
have-
like right.
They're,
Yeah.
they're like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, they're like writing, essentially. They have like prompts where they write. And it started off with the kids would be in one room, and the parents would go to another room, right? And
Didn't it start out with mostly just the parents that the kids could read?
Yeah, start out with like, because the parents would be like, I feel like my son can like read my mind.
Yeah.
Or my daughter can read my mind, something like that.
Or like speak in them or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like they could feel them like in
Yeah.
their brain. So the study started. The parents would go to another room, another house or something, and then the parents would look at an image, and the kid would write down or type or whatever, and it would be the exact thing that the parents were looking at. And it's been like 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And then, so have you guys heard of this place called The Hill?
I've heard of it a couple times.
Yeah, this came up a couple times.
So, The Hill is this place where apparently all these nonverbal kids go in their mind and they communicate. So she started out with this guy. His name is John Paul. He was 16 years old. He's from Atlanta. And he's talking about this place called The Hill. And he says, yeah, there's always like about 1,800 people there. Think of it as like...
Holy smoke. I thought of the few people I've heard of.
No.
Okay.
Think of it as like a server, right?
Yeah.
On like Minecraft or like Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's a server and all these people meet up there and then you can go and play other games from there.
Yeah.
So The Hill is this one place and she was like, what the heck? Like that's weird. I don't know like what that's all
What
about.
are you doing on the hill?
Yeah, what are we doing at The Hill? And then she's like, okay, whatever, John Paul, you crazy fam. And then she goes and she flies somewhere else. I think she flew to like Europe or something. And she's talking to this, I think he's like a priest.
Yeah.
And he handles like all these other kids that are like, again, nonverbal and they're autistic. And he goes, have you heard of this place called The Hill? And she goes, what are you talking about? He goes, I've heard one other person mention The Hill. He goes, yeah, The Hill. It's like apparently this place where they all go. Like they can all like go there and talk and communicate. She goes, that's so weird. And then she goes back to, I think it is, let me see, Minnesota.
Yep.
And she's talking to this guy named Cody, and Cody's like, yeah, we all go to The Hill.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the heck? And so Cody is talking to this guy apparently called Josiah, who's also at The Hill. And then she was like, well, is Josiah a real person? These people, Cody and Josiah have never met. They only talk through The Hill. And they find Josiah is a real person. And he's also like a nonverbal autistic kid.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, have you heard, I've heard like a tiny bit about this. Isn't there like, do they see like Jesus on the hill sometimes?
So from what it said, let me read this real quick. The Hill isn't exclusive to the living. It's also depicted as a realm where non-speakers can converse with and learn from historical figures and thinkers. This portrayal adds a spiritual and otherworldly dimension to the concept, portraying the Hill as a bridge between physical and metaphysical realms. So it's kind of like this place where all these ideas are flowing.
Yeah.
And all these kids and like, all these people can talk and have these like conversations, but they're not even next to each other.
Yeah.
And then, so she was talking about this with my boy, Joe Rogan, invited us on the podcast. And she was like, Joe Rogan asked if this is maybe something that like humans used to be able to do. Like if when we went to go hunt, right? And say there's like a tiger there or something, and we're all like sneaking up on the tiger. We can't talk, right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't formulated a language yet.
Yeah.
But we need a way to figure out how to get this tiger. So then we can like kind of telepathically.
They're just going to The Hill, like right there.
Yeah. So, but once we develop language and speech and
We don't need that. It's like a part of our brain that's not being exercised anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for example, it's like you know how if you go blind, your hearing gets better.
Yeah.
Same type of thing. Where like maybe we don't need to use this part of our brain anymore.
So what we're saying is everyone turn into a nonverbal autistic person.
Well, okay, so the thought is that they're really good at it because they can't speak.
Yeah.
Like they are just like naturally like they're gifted at it. But do you guys know what remote viewing is?
Yeah.
Not really.
You know what remote viewing is.
I know
little bit.
enough to understand it, yeah.
So remote viewing is essentially the same thing where you can picture yourself in this place or that you can picture if they give you coordinates.
I have something to add to remote viewing after.
Okay. Do you want to do it now?
You go first.
Okay. So it's this place. You get coordinates time, you can focus, and you can picture me there, and then they can like describe what's in the room and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been like the CIA has done studies on this, and like most intelligence agencies around the world have done studies on this.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll go and I can't remember the story exactly, but either the U.S. lost a plane or Russia lost a plane, and we were looking for it.
Yeah.
I've heard this exact story.
Yeah, and they had a remote viewer look for it, and he got like exactly to where the plane was.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
And so they found it, and then do you want to hear a really super crazy thing about remote viewing? So they had this guy. They told him to try and remote view at these coordinates, but they didn't tell him where it was or like the time frame.
This is exactly what I was going to share, I think.
The Mars one?
No.
Oh, okay, that was really weird. So he's like, okay, so he goes and he's like super focused or whatever, and he's trying to remote view, and he's like, I see like futuristic buildings, and he goes, I see like a whole civilization. I see these alien people, and then he like comes back from it, and they tell him he goes that. Like the coordinates we gave you and the time frame was Mars 1.2 billion years ago. And like
what?
Yeah. So this is like the idea that like maybe people used to live on Mars.
Well, was it you I was just talking to that about?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, like how Mars would have looked exactly like Earth.
Yeah.
A billion years ago, like exact same spot. I mean, there's water in the pool, so like what's to say that it go back a billion years, it was in the exact same spot. It was exactly like Earth. It could have been.
Yeah, so like.
So you guys are long Earthers. Like the Earth has been around for billions of years.
Well, I feel like that can align with religion. That it can align. It's like it's like it can't. It can. I mean,
yeah.
No, it can. But like, I just want to know your guys. So you say that the Earth has been around for billions of years.
Well, I haven't made conclusive like.
Yeah.
I haven't made conclusive, but from what I've heard, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so this guy like remote viewed and said he saw like aliens on Mars, and like, maybe that's like the aliens that we see now. Is they were advanced, so they came over, and then they kind of like, hung around. They're still here.
Yeah. Also, isn't like people from the hill? Can't they like learn? They couldn't one girl like read hieroglyphics or something?
Yeah, they can read. They can speak and read.
They can't
speak. I keep saying
that. They can write.
They cannot speak, but they can write and learn other languages. And that's got to be from the hill because they get all this information.
Like this young girl, she was like 4 years old. I remember she just like they wrote down hieroglyphics and she was like wrote it down in English.
Yeah, and they were like, "How do you know that?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "The hill."
My buddy
My
Joe.
boy's up there on the hill.
Yeah.
My boy King taught me.
Yeah. But so that stuff was crazy to me because that's like.
Yeah. Well, to add to remote viewing, like Jacques Vallée, I think it was. He was on Joe Rogan. Okay, so this is all true. That's what I'm about to say. Like, don't check it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it was him who he was like with one of the remote viewers, and they were like teaching him how to do it, kind of.
Yeah.
And so they were having him do it, and they sent him somewhere, and he was so cold, so unbelievably cold, and the wind was hitting him so fast, and then but then he was just like in the room, and then like they pulled him back, and he's like. It felt so real, so cold. It's like, and then they sent him to the top of Mount Everest, and that's why it was.
That's why he felt like that.
Yeah, he said it was like being frozen. It was, and like the wind was whipping, like he was like falling down.
Yeah.
Like grabbing on the chair. He reached out and grabbed the chair because he felt like he was gonna fall. Because he was at the tip top.
Well, can't they use that to like for military advantage? Like, couldn't they like? Didn't they find like a Russian? Didn't America find like a Russian submarine?
There must be like mental defenses against that. Like they must have. If they can do that, there's no saying they haven't found a way to like block out places.
Yeah.
Like that's like a force field.
Right?
Like,
have you seen the video? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere out in Asia or Europe. But this whole crowd was like protesting. They weren't talking. They would just stand in the streets. Like thousands of people stood in the streets, and then at the same exact time, the crowds parted and they started like screaming and like holding their ears, and it just waved. And then after that, I think the protest was because like a building had like came down and killed.
In Turkey, right?
Yeah, it could have been Turkey actually. A building came down and killed like 21 people because the government like built it too fast or something.
Wasn't like up to code or something.
Yeah, and they didn't do any checks and it came down, so they just started protesting. And then it's the same. Like if you saw this video, I don't have the video right now. But if you saw it, it moved so fast, and they just started screaming. Like it was like they just like put like a train just went through and just pushed everybody aside.
I've not heard that.
It's
really
it's like a new military weapon.
You know what'd be weird if
if
like the new military weapons were like non-verbal autistic people who had honed their ability so well. With the military, just what if they're militarizing autistic people?
Well, that was like one of like the things that people are concerned about is like them taking advantage of like these kids because like, they have like this superpower.
Wait, do they go? Do they can they like talk and it goes away after like when they adultage?
No.
No, it's usually like they're like they just can't speak.
Yeah. So it goes with them their whole life.
Yeah, they just
Usually.
can't ever speak. I mean, I don't know of a way. I'm no doctor. I don't know how to cure that.
Yeah. I didn't know if it like went away, but
Yeah.
yeah, I heard a story about that, and it was like, it was like really sad. Like this girl, she was like nonverbal autistic, or maybe it was actually a guy, and her dad was like really like abusive to like the girl, like her daughter, and he couldn't say anything, but he knew about it because he was like in his dad's eyes, and he couldn't tell anybody, and he just had to stick with that until he could like write it down.
Yeah.
He didn't have it right.
Yeah, and then there's this. You know what locked-in syndrome is?
No.
It's when, you know, like what a. Okay, let's back up. You know, like a vegetative state is when you're like your brain, you're alive but your brain's dead.
Yeah, you can't
You're
move
just like
or...
you can't move, think. You're like basically you're physically alive but your brain's just dead.
Yeah.
The rest of your life you're just done. Locked-in syndrome is they think you have that, but you can still think, but you just can't move your.
You can't express it or.
Yeah, this one guy, 13 years, people thought he was in a vegetative state. He was just in his own brain, just like locked in, couldn't do anything about it. And then he could move his eyelids like after like 10 years. And someone caught on, and then they like realized that he was there the whole time. And he was a kid, so he like saw his dad like abusing his dog, like his sister and like his mom. And he couldn't do anything. It's so sad. He couldn't do anything about it. Now he's fully recovered, and like he talks about it, he wrote a book.
He recovered from that?
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
fully. He had like a traumatic brain
That's
injury.
incredible.
And now he like talks about it, like where's his awareness for it?
Have you heard the guy who like really likes writing music, and he was like he was like I'm gonna write music
Drake?
forever. No, it's not Drake.
Oh.
He's
Okay,
like,
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
know anyone else.
Drake goes trigger.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm gonna write music for the rest of my life, and even past when I live. So when he was about to die, he was like, take my conscience and put it into an AI brain,
Mm-hmm.
and so now his conscience supposedly is still writing songs in like this like formula thing that they have. Like I like don't know very much about this,
Yeah.
but supposedly his conscience is still there and still writing music. So like what if he's still there and he's just like
What if he's trapped in there?
yeah, and his brain is just trapped in there. He was never like
That's
able to-
terrifying. I would not want anyone to mess with my conscience.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, you can experiment on me and you could put this because he was about to die.
That's like a Black Mirror episode. Do you know what Black Mirror is?
No.
It's like TV. Do you know what it is? Like this TV show where they take like sci-fi stuff and
Yeah.
they make it into like an episode. It's like hour-long episodes. But they had one kind of like this, where this guy, his wife was dying, and so she's like, they're like, we have this new technology and we can upload your wife's consciousness to your brain.
To
So you can-
his brain?
Yeah, so she's like her consciousness is in his brain, so
That's
they
terrible.
can talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exact. So she just always like every time he talks, he just hears her voice. But so like years go by, right? And he starts like dating like this other girl or something, and then she's like in his brain being like, "Don't do that." Like that's like I'm still here, but like she's just stuck in his brain, so she always hears it. And then they figure out a way so he can like turn her off, but she's still stuck inside his brain. So,
What?
so she's in there for years and just like stuck it, and they portray it like she's in this like room and she's just stuck in there.
Yeah.
And then
Can she still see out of his eyes?
only when he allows her to now. So he like turned it off, and then years went by and he turned it back on just to like see, and her daughter was like 10 years older now.
Mm-hmm.
And she like missed like her whole daughter's life, and it's like
Wow.
this.
That's crazy.
It's like such a mind mess up
That's
episode.
terrible.
Yeah, it's
I
like
would never want that.
really
Yeah.
freaky.
Yeah, that's freaky.
If I ever die, don't put anything and put me in another person's brain.
Too late. We already put chips in the back of your brain.
Yeah.
So I'll take the lead for this one, guys. I know Q knows a lot about
Yeah.
this. Mothman. So let me just give you started with like a general place where it's from.
Okay.
So Point Place, West Virginia. Around 1960s is when the first sighting started popped up. I think. Don't check this, but 1960. Never mind. I don't know.
Just 1960s.
1960s. The very first sighting. Couple driving their car. They're driving, and then up in the road, like headlights, two bright red things, like too close together to be headlights, tall, about probably like, they're closer to the ground at this point.
Yeah.
They're driving. They like stop obviously because there's like two bright lights. You're like, what is that? It stands up, and by the thing like 8 feet tall, humongous. So far they can only see the eyes. They turn their brights on, massive wings,
Yeah.
feathery black wings like a humanoid body.
It's a furry.
Just this guy who's like terrorizing people.
Like prehistoric furries in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, in the first they call it Mothman because it's like it looks like a big feathery moth kind
Yep.
of, like long and spindly and like big huge black wings. They're terrified obviously. Turn around or no, they turn around, so drive the other way, so like fast as they can. And then the Mothman, as I should say,
Yeah.
chases them. It's like not even trying. Next to the car, going 60 miles an hour, catching up to 70. Still next to the car. They hit like 80, 85.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Mothman is just like effortlessly next to the car. At some point, it's like they drive over a bridge and they're probably going 140 miles an hour at this point. This car is maxed out. It's like on its last legs. It's like the car is flying. They don't realize how fast they're going just because they're just in so much fear. The thing eventually flies in front and then just goes away, like gives up.
Yep.
And then the bridge they go over the next day collapses, kills a bunch of people, a lot of people.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it seen like before 9/11 maybe? Like isn't that like a
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. My next one. There's like a. Well, I looked it up. This picture's probably AI. Who knows what's not AI these days? But
Yeah.
Just picture a Mothman perched on the Twin Towers, day of 9/11.
Yeah.
Like this black humanoid shape on the Twin Towers. Chief Cornstalk.
Okay.
His like tribe was like he was a prominent Shawnee leader in the 1700s. He was like in a battle during the American Revolution, and he was discussing peace with the Americans, but
The Native Americans?
no, like the American, like us Americans.
Wait, who is this guy?
Chief Cornstalk.
He's a Native
Oh,
American.
so
he's
he
like-
was the Native American.
Yeah. And then
Okay, Chief Cornstalk.
Yep, and then he visited for peace.
Is that a real name?
Yes.
Chief Cornstalk.
It sounds stupid, but
Dave,
while he was out of the fort,
Dave Marker.
his son, I can't pronounce it, like I'm not gonna try. his son and
Little
other members,
Cornstalk.
baby Cornstalk,
Popcorn.
We'll just call him Junior.
little Weedy,
Yeah.
was killed by the Americans, like brutally murdered.
Oh, now it's fun.
And baby Cornstalk was
Was he harvested?
because he was harvested. Oh man, good
Chat
stuff.
clip that.
But okay, so they're all brutally murdered.
Classic.
For killing of the settler, which they were not even involved in, because like some Indians killed a settler,
Mhm.
but they thought it was like Cornstalk's tribe, but it really wasn't. According to lore, with his dying breath, Cornstalk said to have placed a curse in the town of Point Pleasant, not Point Place, Point Pleasant. Remember that?
Fact check.
Well, although it says there's no historical record, blah blah blah. I think he did say it. Like I mean, obviously, how else would Mothman have showed up there?
Well, isn't Mothman kind of like a demon? Like what? Like angels and demons?
Again.
Yeah. So like, I mean, when you think of like a demon, Mothman is very similar sounding.
Like smoky, but like big wing. Yeah.
Yeah, and this connects to like the Silver Bridge where 46 people died, and because of Mothman. Like they saw, it's no coincidence that they keep seeing him before like these tragedies, like driving across the bridge, super like running away from him, and then the next day the Silver Bridge collapses, kills 46 people. No coincidence there.
Yeah.
It's like and then I mean the Twin Towers is a little bit more far fetched, but
That's far.
Yeah, that is far fetched.
you remember that, and then yeah, it's just like and then I'm pretty sure it was Pearl Harbor, the other one, or I'm pretty sure it was Pearl Harbor. Don't look it up, but pretty sure.
All right, guys. You done with that?
Yeah, I just wanted to share a little tidbit on Mothman. Just
Yeah.
like a little teaser for coming weeks.
Yeah. So, I got something crazy. Okay.
Okay, let us know, Q.
No
Is
fact.
it
Nope.
crazier than the Headless one?
That was pretty far fetched, but this one supposedly is real. Okay.
Aren't
Who
they?
told you that?
Aren't they all supposedly real?
Oh, this is on the Ninja Clan. Okay. So Siberia.
Mmm.
Coal mine.
Ooh.
Set the scene.
Wow.
Okay, so you're in a coal mine in Siberia. This guy's mining for coal, and he strikes, and it goes through.
Not that.
Yeah, not coal.
The ore.
No one's striking me.
No.
The ore.
I'll strike
The
you.
ore coal.
Does he have fortune?
Yeah, Fortune 3.
For all you Minecraft.
So he's
Yeah, I'm 24.
He lives
So-
with his parents.
he strikes the coal and goes into a cave. He's like, what is this? So he like keeps digging it out, and then he calls over his like coal digging friends, and they go down there. They're like, what is this? So they walk in the cave. At the end of the cave, it's this marble sarcophagus. Okay.
Marble.
What? How does that the word? Define a sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus?
Yeah.
It's like a coffin.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, why is marble the word you chose?
What does marble mean?
Marble is
No,
sarcophagus.
it's just I was trying to
Marble.
imagine. No, listen. I was trying to like imagine a sarcophagus like Egyptian one made out of marble. It was just weird.
Yeah, so it's like a really heavy lid. It takes them all, like lift it up. Like, why are you lifting it off?
Mm-hmm.
And they lift it off. A perfectly conserved like woman is inside, and you know how like blonde hair came from like the Norse, like the giants. This girl was like 7 feet tall, and she had blonde hair, and but all the way up to the top was this pink liquid. It was just pink liquid, and
Pepto-Bismol.
and it was all pink, and so I don't know what in this guy was thinking, but like he must have been out of it that day, or someone paid him a lot of money to do this. Sticks his finger in it and takes a lick of the pink liquid. Okay.
Classic.
2 weeks later, goes like crazy bananas and dies.
Well, why would you lick the pink liquid?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how much money were they giving him to do that?
What, grave juice? Are you kidding me?
The forbidden juice.
These Siberian
I
guys.
think it was like light pink. Okay.
That's way better.
So they can't lift this sarcophagus.
Uh-huh.
So they mine it out and they tell the Siberian government, and they're like, don't tell anybody about this. And the next day they're not allowed to go back to the coal mines, and a military helicopter comes down and tries to get the sarcophagus, but they can't.
How do they lift it out?
They could.
They lift the lid off. Oh.
They couldn't. So the mine down to where the sarcophagus was, so it was a straight hole.
Yeah.
And they can't lift it out because of how heavy it is. So they think of draining the pink liquid. They drain the pink liquid and are able to carry it away. They get a couple samples, and that's the end of the story. The coal miners died of causes that no one knows why.
Okay.
Just like taking a stroll in the park,
What
rock
year is
hits them
this?
in the head.
Do you know?
Fact check me on this. Made up 1970. We'll go with that.
It's always 1970.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was the late 1900s, so somewhere around then.
Okay.
There was 3 other
Realize
sarcophagus.
1900s.
Wait, 1900s is the 18s.
Okay. 2000s.
20th century.
20th century. Yeah. Fact check me. Okay.
So they just like got rid of this pink liquid and didn't do anything with it?
Although they sampled it. But that's
Okay.
all they've heard of it since.
They should mix it
and
with
also that
vodka.
guy going crazy 2 weeks after he why are you looking that?
Mm.
That part is a bit like
They should mix it with vodka and drink it.
so
That'd be good. Crazy juice.
so also when they found this girl, she was buried, or it wasn't buried, but there was a black cylinder box, and the people who are still eyewitnesses today describe that as an iPhone. Like a perfect iPhone. Like that's
had
what
an
it was.
iPhone?
She had an iPhone with her, and
But
they
this is also
dated the
massive
pink.
prank.
They dated the pink. Well, this was like before iPhones existed. They dated the pink liquid thousands of years back, which is absolutely crazy. Like when they got samples of it.
Yeah.
Like they signed or what, like, I don't know who was it, someone got samples of it that wasn't the government and like released to the public that this was thousands of years old. And
Did they ever say what it was?
they didn't know what the pink liquid was. It was not a element that they knew what it was. So that's the end of the story.
What a great ending.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
So they found an iPhone 16 in Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah. With
That's weird. Do you think
Was a 7 foot tall chick.
yeah.
are they like still like studying it?
Nothing is more.
Let's just lay out how crazy this sounds. I think
these old guys in
this
the coal
marble
mine.
tomb. This marble tomb. Humongous lady.
Yep.
Pepto-Bismol.
iPhone 16.
Bunch
Max.
of coal miners.
A bunch of Siberian coal miners, just like the dullest dudes. No offense to if you're Siberian, but these guys are probably dull. This guy's like, ooh, lick.
Ooh, lick.
He's like, ooh, pretty lady in liquid. I mean, like you guys hear they're selling Sydney Sweeney's bath water.
Ew.
Yeah, they're like raffling it off for like $300.
Somebody's getting
No, have you
scammed.
seen that?
I haven't seen
Well,
that.
you know like the ad for like in the bath was like the Dr. Squatch. It's like no, it's like on YouTube. I don't know why, but it's like all my YouTube ads. It's like her Dr. Squatch, Sydney Sweeney. It's like Sydney Sweeney. If you guys haven't
This isn't helping us.
Never mind, we're heading off track now. But basically, they sell the bathwater. That's really gross.
Yeah. So that's pretty far fetched.
That's pretty far fetched.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Sorry.
This was a fun first pod.
Yeah. If we don't get 100,000 views the first video,
We're quitting.
Yeah, guys, if you can get us on Joe,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Papa
So
Joe, if you have a connection, send it to him, please.
come find us on all the classic social media pages, including YouTube. We're gonna post a full video on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Yeah.
There'll be clips of it too, just to get you guys hooked.
TikTok, Instagram, and Reels.
Yeah. It's been real, guys.
Good talking to you guys. It's been real, guys.
It's been real.
Oh
Okay.
man, well.
We'll see you next time. Peace out.